M3 Touring G81. What a beast. So I got now this car from BMW Switzerland for a couple of days, and I drove around 600-700 kilometers, and something can't get in my mind. So first of all, have a look how good it looks. I mean, wow. You have the G80 front, which mostly everybody says this is the best front end BMW made because it looks so aggressive. Although it got the biggest hate in the beginning. And over here we have the Touring version, which in my opinion is very cool that they brought this out, because look at also this angle, how wide, how aggressive it is. That wheel arch is so wide, it's a true M car, and I really like this. And down here in the back we have this huge diffuser with those insanely big chrome exhaust pipes, which in my opinion look really good, especially in this spec with the, I mean, chrome polished wheels like diamond cut. I think they look really good. Also from further distances they look like the classic Swiss spec. And because this car has the carbon kit, this means we have the diffuser in carbon fiber covered, we have the mirror caps, and we have some bits in the front as well in carbon fiber. I mean, look at that, it looks so good, especially this part with those inlets over here, the bigger grille, it suits everything so well. And as I've said, those bits in here are carbon fiber. Not sure if you can see it really, but those are carbon fiber. And of course we have the facelift LCI headlights, which are very something different than the Angel Eyes or something before, but I think they look really cool, especially on the G models. And under that bonnet we have the S58, an inline 6-cylinder bi-turbo, which is it's such a good engine. And this engine also has a lot of potential. So that means it's also built for reliability, because they use parts they wouldn't necessarily need to run the engine for that amount of power. So it's really reliable and has a huge potential. So yeah, it is basically an M3 with some bigger trunk space, but it looks way better in my opinion. Although I'm more a sedan person, but this looks so aggressive and so much wider. But I think the main part where this car is shining is in driving, because oh my god, this is a daily, but this is a true M car as well. And I'm gonna show you that in a minute when we take the car for a spin. But first I want to show you the interior. Of course we have M3 on the doorstep. And when we get in, we have this beautiful steering wheel, which has now a flat bottom. And I have to say though, it has some plastic buttons all over the place, but they have a nice feel to it, and I prefer plastic buttons over a touchscreen button that isn't working. So I think it's still the right decision to make that. Of course, we have the M1 and the M2 button, which you can configure the settings of the car like you need it right now. Everything on the door panel and on the dash is covered in premium leather. It really feels, very, very luxurious. We have also here the buttons, they have a nice feel to it. And here we have the new facelift screen, which I didn't like in the first place, but I have to say it's really good, because you have the settings and everything. It works really fluently. It's big, you have everything visible. Also, this one in the front, you can configure here through the M mode. Then this menu pops up and you put it in sport. Then you have the gear selector in the middle. You have a little map over there where you can see how the road's going, not that you just fall off the road suddenly. And you have the rev counter over there. And over here in the middle we have basically every setting. We have the navigation, we have the setup of the car that you're currently in, with media, radio, connectivity stuff. We have the tires, which is a very useful metric. We have the engine setup, where you can see the turbo spool that is building up. And we have, other than that, a lot of things. And here we come maybe to a not so good point. Over here we have the menu and we have all apps. I mean, if you need a setting in the car and you want to change something, it's not easy to get through. Alright, you have here the infotainment and the setting feature where you can sort it a little bit, but still a lot of apps for just yeah, I think it's not a good solution, although the system is very responsive and Apple CarPlay is over the whole screen, looks really good. I mean, if you daily drive it, you probably will just use Apple CarPlay and the car is set as you want it, because, I mean, climate change is over here. We have your seat heating, seat ventilation, steering wheel heating as well, which is very cool. It's very accessible. Also, here is the climate menu. Everything works really good. And down here we actually have still physical buttons for the volume and to skip the song or go back. And down here in the middle console we have all the other important buttons: ESC off, the parking camera, the start stop, which you can turn off, the M mode, which is, as I've said, this dash setting, and we here also have the setup of the car. When you press setup, this menu pops off where you can change everything in the car, which is really cool, but it's almost too much. So if you wouldn't have the M1 and the M2 button, it would be too complicated to configure it every time you want to drive a little bit sportier the car in the right settings. So the M1 and the M2 buttons are very much needed in this car. And down here we also have, of course, the exhaust button, we have a parking brake, and here we have still a manual physical selector where you can go through the menu, which I think is really cool that you still have that. And of course we have the gear knob, or the shifter, which I think is one of the most satisfying shifters I've drove, because putting that in drive, into reverse, in neutral, it feels so satisfying, and it's so well positioned. You can just rest your hand on it and shift the gears through it. Very cool. So I have to say this is very premium and very well thought. Which I don't like in this car especially is the interior trim. So this is like some futuristic engraved metal optic kind of thing. Over here we have the regular seats. You could get the carbon fiber bucket seats, but those are still really cool because they're comfy and they're still sporty. This is definitely also a good option if you want something more capable, more dailyable. If you don't want to go on the track with this car, I think this is the perfect option. So, and as you already can see in the back, we have a lot of space. I'm gonna show you now the trunk space and the rear seats, how large this car actually is. This will also blow your mind when we're driving this car, because this car doesn't feel that large. I mean, have a look how much space you have here. This is very big. When I sit inside the car, I mean, I'm in my driver position in the front and I have still plenty of space. It's comfortable. I can maneuver, and also in the headrest, and also on top I have enough space. And I'm 183, so I'm quite tall, I have to say, not the smallest person, but it's very comfortable. And also the angle of the seats are not like this. You can lean back and it's comfortable, and I think it has to be like this in a touring car, so well done. And when we now move over to the trunk space, I mean this is insanely large. So we went on a trip and we had 2 regular luggage suitcases with us, and we still had space for, I don't know, for 5 or 6, even more when you fill out that space over the top and everything. So you have more than enough space in this that you will ever need. So we talked now about the exterior, the interior of the car, and also the trunk space, which is fairly large. And I want to show you now how the car is sounding. So as you've heard, this car sounds very good for a newer car. I have to say that, because nowadays it's really hard for manufacturers to get a car this powerful sounding that good. And of course, I know it's not an E92 or something like that. It's a new model, but it still sounds really good. I have to say this. And yeah, I think it's still very emotional. But in the other hand, when you just cruise around, you can close the valves and it's very comfortable so that your kid in the back doesn't wake up when you're driving this car. So we're going to take now the M3 Touring on this little curvy road down here, and I'm trying to show you what I mean with this can't get in my mind. We're now in the M3 Touring and I'm gonna take it for a spin to show you how capable it really is and how diverse you can drive the car, because it's so comfortable, and on the other hand we have true M capabilities. But firstly we're gonna start it up. Beautiful sounds. Put it in drive. We're gonna start off in M2 actually, because then it's rear-wheel drive and it's very much fun. M2 setting is so good. Now all the power is cut from the front wheels and it's going to the rear wheels, which is very cool in my opinion. And you can immediately feel it, how it's pushing from the rear and not pulling you. Although I have to say, when you're in xDrive, so four-wheel drive, the car is still managing to put the most power they can on the rear tires, so it still feels like an M car. It's not something different, you know. But in the two-wheel drive setting, it's really cool, especially on more curvier roads. You can feel it, how it's pushing from the back. Oh, the crackles. Can't get enough of this. It sounds so good. Very much fun to drive, I have to say this. And just to show you, I'm putting now into M2. And M2 configuration I made is just very sporty but four-wheel drive, and the corner capabilities of this car, I mean, wow. You can really push out the limits of it, and the grip level is so good, I have to say it. It's so much fun to drive, and you have to really test it out, because on paper I know it's an M3 Touring, but it's way more fun when you drive it. And then, for the sake of this video, I can just put it into regular and you see or you hear how the valves are closing and the suspension is getting way softer. And now you just can cruise down the mountain pass, really having that beautiful view soaking in, and just enjoy the Swiss roads. But we're not here for that. We put it in M2 and we're testing it out furthermore. So that's what I meant earlier, because it can't cross my mind how they pull that off to make a touring version of the M3 that sounds so good, drives so good, and is so capable of daily driving, and has that big gap between very sporty and driving very comfortable on the other side. So I think this is a true successful model, and I think this is probably the best daily one-car BMW solution that they are offering. Especially if you're a bigger family, you can have that luggage back there, you can have fit over 5 people into this car. So this is a fairly large car, and on the other side, when you're driving alone, you can just put it in the sportiest setting and but we're still in Switzerland, so we have to behave. I have to say this, I'm behaving myself. But this car is so much fun to drive, and it's capable of doing so many things so good. So we took it now for a spin. We saw the exterior, you saw the interior. So I told you a lot about the daily capabilities because the features are so good. And I think this car over there probably covers the biggest gap between daily capabilities, and a true sports car. So I think BMW, you did an amazing job to create an M car for people that are getting older and are getting kids. So that's it for the M3 Touring, and next weekend I'm actually gonna test the M4 competition. So yeah, we'll see how close it is to a coupe M car, and we'll see also how more responsive the M4 is in comparison to this. But let me know in the comments if you have some questions about the M3 Touring, and let me please also know your opinion about this car, because I think it deserves even more attention than it already has. So thanks for watching, see you next time.